My childhood, I was raised in Houston, Texas, and I had 6 brothers and 3 sisters, and I was the youngest. This whole time I think this is my family. This is my mom, this is my dad, these are my brothers and my sisters. And a lady just shows up and says, do you know who I am? And I said, no ma'am. She goes, I'm your mother. That's when my world was turned upside down. My brother Arthur turns out to be my father. And I could not understand that. This whole time, you played this role and acted as a brother when you were my father. I just struggled with it so much because I didn't know who to believe anymore. And then it created a deep void in my heart, and it was like what I thought was real, it just didn't seem real no more. I felt, I don't need you anymore. I don't want to go to school no more. Just want to do my thing. So I ran away from home. When you run away from home and you're living in the streets, there's only bad people out there that are going to influence you to do bad things. What I started doing was hanging out with guys who would steal cars and take them to Mexico, or they were selling drugs. So that's what I started doing. Caught up in this lifestyle of drugs and stealing cars, I was told that if I stole a particular vehicle, that I would make a substantial amount of money. So it was during this time of a carjacking that a man's life was taken, and I was responsible for that. I just lost it. And that's how I ended up being arrested and charged with capital murder. I just turned 17. So I thought my life was truly over at that point. There was only prison, and the realities of living in that environment was, I knew it was going to be tough, I knew dangerous, I had to be prepared, horrible. I knew I would have to fight every day. You're going to end up going to Ferguson myself, and if you don't fight, I had to do what I had to do. The food was horrible, not be victimized while I was incarcerated. If someone calls you a name and you don't do nothing about it, that's no purpose in life. Victimized, no direction. People yelling and screaming because they're going insane. People banging on their beds, cursing you. So it's like a cacophony of noise because they ain't got nothing else to do. Every single day. If someone were to threaten me, which there was a guy who slamming doors, so I tried to kill him. You have to fight. You have to be violent. That's what the life is in there at that time. I adopted to that, and I embraced that philosophy. Violent got the most respect. They had to pay the price for it. It's a living nightmare. I don't know how I even survived it. 27 years in this type of environment. It's only by the grace of God. I was called out for a visit. In this visit, Mr. A.P. Merritt tells me, I'm just here to ask you a personal question. Do you believe in God? That was the craziest question you could possibly ask me. And yet, when I realized the sincerity of the question, I answered yes. And so his next question is what changed my life forever. Because he said, well, why don't you get to know him? It made too much sense. Just made too much sense. And I became a truth seeker. And I sought out to know who is God. That's when I discovered the truth. It was not a concept, and it wasn't information. It was a person, Jesus Christ. And I believed in Jesus as my Lord and Savior. I just dove into ministry from the inside, telling the gang members that were active, they needed to get away from that lifestyle, that it doesn't have a future. In 2009, I come back up for parole. I walked in there and she said, well, from here to here, you're the worst inmate in TDC history. But from here to here, you're arguably the best inmate in TDC history. What happened right here? And I told her, I believed in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I ain't been the same since. And she said, I knew it. I knew it. 7 days later, I got a unanimous decision to be released from prison. Having walked in as a 17-year-old, and 27 years later, I walked out a free man. What my life looks like today, waking up to a beautiful wife in my own home and being able to impact the community. I've been blessed or entrusted with a business. I get to pray for my clients. I get to minister to the employees. I have the opportunity to help other people who have backgrounds that made mistakes just like me get an opportunity, a career opportunity, not just a job. Too many guys come out and are not prepared to make the transition. T.O.R.I gives you the opportunity to actually come in prepared. God was using that time to mold me and shape me for what He had in store for me in the future that I never imagined, that still cannot imagine.